it's already small. The smaller the practice, the more risk, right?
Yeah.
Because if there's 4 employees, if one employee leaves, that's 25% of your payroll, of your workforce that just walked out the door. If there's a click, like 2 leave.
All right, so Landmark, I'm guessing that's the name of the company again, which amazing that they're sharing that. Physical therapy practice, Queens County, New York, asking 610, cash flow 240, gross revenue 600. So they're actually, I've seen where you price it based on revenue, a 1-to-1. So they're kind of in that world.
And sometimes that makes sense and sometimes it doesn't, but some owners will just do it without any financial backing, like, to support it. But yeah.
So these guys are saying 150,000 in inventory, 40,000 furniture, fixtures, equipment. So that's almost 200,000 there that they're saying, hey, we want to get paid for.
Inventory, unless it's like multiple shockwaves that are 70 grand each, or
this says merchandise, raw material, finished and unfinished product. Yeah, let's see what we've got. Profitable, 800 square feet. So this is getting us into a smaller physical space. It doesn't say how many employees up above. Facility been there for years, specializing in physical therapy treatment, back pain, musculoskeletal injuries. Additional income can be generated. Doesn't say it is generated from adding workers' comp, no fault auto, except medical insurance. Location does more than 600,000 a year, 11 to 12,000 a week. Net cash flow 225 to 250,000. Location is fully furnished. Lunchroom, storage area. All the trained staff is willing to stay on. It's a cash cow. Must see location
with 2 exclamation points for each. It's like
absentee. An absentee run for a potential buyer. It's got Tedman telephone number, which I'm surprised that the website Biz Buy Sell would let you share a phone number like that.
Yeah, sometimes they make just asterisks, like it gets blocked out.
Okay, here, 4 employees. So what do you think? Do you know this area? Are you familiar with, Queens County, is that the same as like?
It's Queens, yeah.
Okay.
Queens. So, it's already small. The smaller the practice, the more risk, right?
Yeah.
Because if there's 4 employees, if one employee leaves, that's 25% of your payroll, of your workforce that just walked out the door. If there's a click, like 2 leave, and you slice it in half, like it could be 2 therapists only generating 600,000 in revenue, right? Like if they were both hustling, there were 2 therapists, generating 300,000 a year in revenue. The description where it says cash cow with 2 exclamation points and whatever the second sentence said, 2 exclamation points. It's like, cash cow. It's 240,000 in cash flow and their revenue is 600,000. How is it a cash cow? A cash cow would have been the other one we looked at where it was 41% profit margins. If that's true, that would be a cash cow. But this one, some of these descriptions are just bonkers.
Well, and here's the thing. And again, not to detract from anybody, I'm looking at the screenshot. I'm looking at the photo, right? That's a $150 recumbent bike, a couple of TheraBand and used physio balls. I don't see where $190,000 valuation for furniture, equipment, and other stuff is coming in. And not to speak poorly of the practices I've seen in New York and the metro area, but I could definitely see this being 4 employees, maybe 1 owner therapist, and then, a couple aides. And basically everybody's coming through, they're getting the same thing. It's just, they're billing insurance and who knows what is happening. Not saying these guys are doing that, but saying that I've seen those business models that do exist out there. Looking at the outlet on the wall, looking at the marks on the wall, the carpet, the molding,
See,
We're
I
not.
love it because you're digging into this the same way I would. And if you are gonna sell your home or you're gonna sell your business, is this the type of picture? I mean, if you're listening to this, you have to jump over to the YouTube, jump over to Learn Medicare Billing on YouTube or the Dave Kittle Show or PT Pintcast on YouTube. Look at this picture. There is no way if you're going to sell a business, you're not going to choose this picture. This is
Right.
this is the best picture you have. This is the most flattering picture you have.
So it has to put you in the mind of the seller to say, okay, this person believes that this is a $600,000 picture. This picture
Right.
is going to sell a $600,000, business. Um, so, I mean, it is what it is. This is why I think the profession struggles. This is why I think all of us, but again, we're not business. We didn't go through business school. We're not savvy, most of us. Um, I think this is an opportunity for, you said it. I could see a tech company coming in, and maybe there's not enough like growth here, but a tech company coming in and saying, okay, we're going to blow the doors open. We're going to help healthcare professionals, PT, OT, SLP, um, build businesses for resale value, right out of the gate. You just graduated. You think you want to go down the business road. We're going to come in. We're going to help you build this business to be sold in the future. And as such, we're going to take, 15, 20% off the top, but we're going to make sure your books are in order. We're going to make sure you have all of your paperwork, that the LLC is set up correctly, that, all of the boxes are checked so that 5-year, 10-year, 15-year exit, we're planning that today coming out of the gate.
So are you saying that maybe Sword Health or Hinge Health could come in and not just get into house calls, but buy a brick and mortar practice like that? Is that what you're saying? You said tech companies.
Yeah, maybe. I was thinking more like a Zillow kind of company.
Okay.
I think Sword and Hinge are going a different direction. Scott is asking Dave, how many of the practices you buy offer seller financing, or
Yeah.
just
So
in general?
well, I mean, so I haven't bought anything. My board members have bought and sold things, but we're still looking at deals. Deals fall through. So with seller finance, though, there's a good amount of owners that understand like that. Typically, we would want maybe sometimes 25% of the capital stack to be seller finance when possible. We will sometimes use that as a bridge. Like we're like, okay, we believe it's worth this. You believe it's worth this. We can give you like 90% of this cash at close. We're going to have 10% held in escrow for like Medicare audits, any retroactive payments, whatever, for like 12 months. And then this other 25% will be on standby for the life of the loans, or maybe it's, in 2 years or 3 years or whatever. We can start making those seller finance payments to you as well. So some owners are understandable and they understand seller finance and how that it can lower their their taxable income because they're kind of deferring some of that purchase price into the future. We'll usually we have to agree to some interest rate, or we would agree to some interest rate on those payments into the future. Then there's other owners that we've spoken with, and they're like, "Oh, I heard like terrible stories about seller finance, and it may not happen or whatever." So they're like, "I want 90% of the cash at close. I'll wait 12 months for the other 10% or whatever. I know you want to hold 10% in escrow, fine, but some owners don't want to do seller finance at all." So yeah.
I wonder too if there would be an opportunity. And I don't know if this is what happens in other businesses with roll-ups, but it's like, can we just get a professional CEO who's going to come in? Because I think the biggest hangup is, like, again, I look at my business, my organization. I want to make sure my people are taken care of. I want to make sure my patients that have been with me forever are taken care of. But at the same time, I could probably be talked into staying on to treat and be part of it, but I need a CEO to come in. I need somebody who's going to make real business decisions to come in, who's going to take the potential of this business and realize that potential with real things. They're going to hire staff. They're going to hire clinicians. They're going to make the marketing changes that need to be made for this to be a real business. I think the deficiency in most of our smaller businesses, we don't have real CEOs in place. And so if you can do a fractional CEO where you say, okay, this guy's going to come in, this girl's going to come in, they're going to run the business like a real business. And in 12-month to 18-month time frame, we're going to get a full turnaround into something that has real value. I think there's an opportunity there. What do you think about something like that?
Yeah, I mean, the challenge, like you said, you kind of have to get a business like out of like the shallow end of the pool, and you got to grow it to the point where then you can attract some CEO like that, or maybe have some they get a salary plus they get, I don't know, 10% of net profits, annually or whatever. So that would kind of incentivize them to grow the whole business. And then you, the therapist out there, you could just, you or me or whoever, like, could be just focusing on the content side, the sourcing deals, trying to get more deals. And then you have this fractional or part-time or eventually full-time executive that's kind of, maybe they kind of work their way up in USPH or Select Medical, one of these other companies, but they wanted to go somewhere where they actually had some skin in the game, where they get salary plus some of the upside of like some profit share or whatever. So I think that could work.
I think you just need to get the crazy, insecure, fearful owner out of the way. I think as much, and you've said this, as much as you want that person who's selling the business to stay on, in theory, because there's, their connections and their referral relationships and all that stuff, most of the time they're also a cancer that's holding the business back. That is threatening. When we see like Undercover Boss and some of those other, I was watching Dave Ramsey. No, not Dave Ramsey. The
Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I was watching some of these guys, and I'm like, the owner is the problem. Get the owner the heck out of there. And you've got a raw material. The staff wants to do better. The business has potential. The owner is the one that's poisoning the pool. I think a lot of times we just need to get rid of them, get them out of there, and let us turn this into a real business. So let's think about parting shots, unless there is anything else you wanted to touch on.
No, I'm good. What do you got for parting shots, or you want me to go first?
I think the main thing, sorry about the phone ringing in the background. The main thing is we need to know what we want. Frustration happens when there's a misalignment of what we think we want and what we're actually working toward. Therapists come in, they think they want a profitable, successful business. What they really want is patients to tell them how amazing they are, and they want to feel good about their clinical skill. Those two things don't always align. I've got a patient who says, I want to be able to throw a football with my grandson. And I say, okay, we got to get strong and lift heavy things. And they say, well, I don't want to do that. Like, that's what we see in the clinic with patients. That's what we see behind the desk with business owners. We need clear alignment. If the priority is financial security, then we might have to table some of the other desires for a while. Because if you get true financial security, you can go back and treat patients however you want and not charge them anything. You could do it for free. It could be a genuine passion of yours. But don't confuse your goals and objectives with your actions. Like, your actions have to reflect what you actually want. What do you got?
Oh, I love it. And also thank you, Dan Vapney.
Hey.
He said he's under contract with a practice, and they have 10 years seller financing. Awesome. And owner stays on 3 years. Assuming the owner is great and, great for morale and all that, that sounds like a slam dunk. Dan, congratulations. And also reach out. Let me know if that closes. I'd love to, take you out for a beer or whatever. I think you're in the area in Long Island.
I met him at PPS this year. We were sitting at a table with Jerry Durham and a couple other people, and Dan came up, and it was great to meet you.
Did he, because I know you're from Long Island, Tony. Isn't he Long Island, or where's he at?
Well, it's a good question. I don't know if I remember.
I thought he was. But we got 22 people live here. If you guys are live, just comment below. Let me know what state you're listening in from or watching from. Comment below here. Parting shot, I think the more that you owners out there, like, talk to other owners, talk to other buyers, look at content, some of mine, some of the others. But that's why I'm putting content out there, because I want to show, like, here's some of the realities. Don't always just believe like whatever your broker says, and your broker's like, oh yeah, we could get 7x, we can get 7x multiple in this, like no matter what. And then the broker charges you, 10, 20K or whatever for like marketing fees and like, directory fees to list on their website, or, to help you with, set up DocuSign to set up your, non-disclosure agreement or whatever. And then like a year or something goes by and like you don't sell your practice, or you never sell your practice. So just beware. You can look at my content on there. You could say, hey, my content might be biased because I'm on the buy side, but look at all the content that's out there. Go to YouTube, go to Google, see what else is out there. And Scott said, so Scott's tuning in from West Palm Beach, Florida. But yeah, that's my parting shot. It's just check what's out there. Try to get those comps as much as possible. Talk to other business owners, other practice owners that sold to some of the big ones, USPH, Confluent, Motion. Who are the other buyers? ATI no longer buying practices. Athletico. Talk to some of those practice owners. See if you can get an understanding of like those comps and all that. Not just what brokers say, not just what I say only, but also not just what brokers say. So that's my parting shot.
All right, guys, 8:30 a.m. Tuesday and Thursday. Go check out the Dave Kittle Show. Go check out PT Pintcast. Learn Medicare billing. We'll catch you guys next time.
Hey, it's Dave Kittle. Are you a healthcare business owner or physical therapy practice owner who is looking to figure out your succession plan or exit strategy? We might be able to help. And in fact, we may be interested in acquiring your practice. If you're interested, you can reach out to me. Shoot me an email at dave@conciergepainrelief.com. That's DAVE@CONCIERGE painrelief.com. Or you can call me at any time, 646-781-8884.